We are live, and wow, good morning, everyone. Well, let me tell you something right off the bat. I want to dive right into this because in Tokyo, when Titans come through, they got to answer to Godzilla. Well, when NBA superstars come through South Philly, they got to answer to the beast because my man was a beast yesterday, dropping 44 points, and he was nasty, nasty, low in the paint, doing his turnaround jump shots, creating space for other superstars to get involved. I mean, this guy is an animal. And, Mike, I love you to death, but just the thought, and Ryan, I like you too. But just the thought about,
And you
yeah,
too.
and yes, you too. And good morning, Al. Just the thought of you guys wanting to trade this man has me twisting my nipples over here. And you say, I came in here today, this morning, wearing no underwear because I'm that excited. So, yes, I'm going full commando as we speak. I don't know if you guys need to know that, but just trying to watch that. It's
Dude,
only that site's only going to factory charge for a half hour
dude,
because I'm
really?
yeah.
Really?
So, but listen, Embiid looking sharp in the paint, just like I said, creating space for Maxi. The things he was doing, making Shake Milton look like a star yesterday because those guys were driving to the bucket. How about our man Korkmaz getting aggressive, fighting for minutes? I mean, really a good, solid game from him. I mean, I loved what I saw from this Sixers team. So, look, they had to answer back because there was a lot of, on Wednesday night's game against the Hawks, there was a lot of questions after that loss. There was a lot of questions. Doc should be immediately fired. Embiid's just not the stuff. There's something wrong with the core of this team, etc. I watched the Passion Fanatic guys yesterday. They were disputing all that. Of course, they come on 9 a.m. Saturday morning, so they couldn't. So I also listen to those guys and listen. Those, but yesterday they answered it, and Embiid came out on fire yesterday. So let me ask you before we talk more about this game: is it fair to say a question that Embiid, Doc's only good as the talent around him? Like if Embiid and like I just noticed that just thinking about his resume, like of course, we all know about his teams. Like he has superstars, and those guys always did the dirty work. So is it him being a decent coach, or is it just the superstars that he had? If those guys have an off night, he don't know what to do. I'll go to
Well,
you, Mike.
uh, I'm going to disagree with you about this great Sixers win last night because from what I seen last night, they got damn lucky that they didn't blow that game. Okay?
No.
Okay? Where is the defense on this team? You supposedly shored up your bench. You're supposed to be a better defensive team. Good. JoJo got 44 points. It's about freaking time. Your other superstar's out. He's supposed to step up. Okay? He's supposed to make guys around him better. Okay, that's what a superstar does. My issue with this team is their defense. They
I'll
had
give
a
you that.
20, what was that, like a 24-point lead and
Correct.
almost blew it. Not once, but twice. Like, I don't want to hear about no, they got out of there with a win. If that game's 5 minutes longer, Atlanta comes back in that game.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that Trey. Trey
So,
Young was
and
being a
and
pass.
as far as Doc Rivers goes, I do believe he is a product of his players. Okay, because if you've seen Doc when he don't have superstars, Doc's not a real good coach. Just look at his time down in Orlando. Okay,
Correct.
when they started dismantling and they thought Doc was the guy, they really didn't have any stars. He really didn't do nothing there. So I mean, yeah, and you know what? There should have been a change a week ago. Okay, their head coach is sitting right there
And Sam
on
Cassell.
and Sam Cassell. All the and that's and believe it or not, he's the guy that I think he's the buffer between the team and Rivers. If you really look at it,
Yeah,
he runs practice.
he's the guy for the players there, without
Right.
a doubt.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can just see that. Like so, if they're responding well to him and they're not responding to Doc, what is Josh Harris? What is Elton Brand? What are they waiting on? Pull the trigger, get this dude out of here.
Correct. Correct. So, Ryan, I'll go to you. What was your take on yesterday's game, and what's your take on the question?
Well, to echo what Mike said and to answer your question, yes, Doc Rivers is only as good as the players he has around him. The only success he's ever truly had was with one of the best basketball teams ever assembled in the '08 Celtics. That nice little run that Big Three in Boston had. Don't have a recency bias here, Pat. Just because Joel's playing good now doesn't mean he's going to do this night in and night out.
Correct.
He could decide that he's not feeling well. He could decide that his left knee is sore. He could decide that he twisted his ankle at any moment. And
Or he breaks his face.
yeah, that happens too. Apparently, anything that could happen to Joel Embiid since he's been in the NBA has happened. So nothing will surprise me anymore. And I'm still in the boat.
Yeah, I'm still in the boat too. Trade him
yeah,
now. Why you
trade
can
him
get
now.
something for him? You can still get something for him.
He's coming off 42 points last night. Move him now.
Yeah, I'd trade him right after the game.
Strike while the iron's hot, without a doubt.
I'm pretty sure wherever they trade him to, there's a Chick-fil-A there. Cool.
Yeah, but okay.
Shirley Temples.
Yeah. I mean, dude, what has he brought us? Like, stop. Like, everybody's looking at Joel Embiid like he's this immovable piece that if we get rid of him, he's going to go on this championship run. He hasn't proven that. So, and he's not getting any younger. He's got big man syndrome. So get rid of him while the iron's hot and get yourself a boatload back.
Yeah, but I guess what people want, they want that championship now, and
it's not going to happen.
And they feel like him, if they, like I said, the key thing, if he could stay healthy, but like Ryan would say,
dude, if it snowed in May, it'd be considered, winter. Like, who cares? You guys are building your hope up on a dude who's never played a really full season to stay healthy for a full season. He's the only guy in the world I know that broke his face twice.
Yeah, but
in the same round.
I don't know. I think you're kind of shortchanging him a little bit because
I'm not sure it's Pat. What is he?
But he's a caliber for an MVP twice, and he got snubbed.
No, he just wasn't. They voted him that he wasn't the best player.
I think he got snubbed last year.
Last year he got snubbed, but the first time he didn't get snubbed. Come on, man.
Nikola Jokic is that good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to look at skill set wise. I just don't think.
Listen, you love Embiid, and that's
I
fine,
do.
and you can.
There's nothing wrong with saying for a man to love another man.
Well, man, in this day and age, no.
But it's 2022. Labels are for cans.
Yeah,
yes,
that's right.
Yes.
But just making my point is we can move on from Joel Embiid and still be a productive team.
Because you're going to get good pieces back. It's not like you're just getting peanuts.
Right.
Yeah, but would that ultimately be saying we failed?
No, that would just be I'm moving on to get better pieces.
You haven't arrived there yet? Because I kind of have the whole process.
I listen. I was never a big fan of the process. I don't know if I was never a big fan of the process or a big fan of the fact that the process was necessary because of the way the NBA is structured. But I'm not. I'm kind of in between. I see what both sides are saying, like get him while the iron's hot. I still think you get a boatload for Joel Embiid after this year, even if he doesn't have a great year. Because you know what? How many times have you go to the NFL? Like look at Carson Wentz. How many times have coaches look at a guy who has possible talent and go, I can do something with this. And Joel Embiid is something you can do something with. If you're smart enough and you know what you're doing with it.
No, he's still a unicorn. I'm not questioning his
But my point
talent.
is to rush to unload him today is what I'm saying. Like I would think would be the wrong move. Even like I said, even if he has a bad year this year, he's still a highly valuable player that you could trade if you wanted to in the offseason. Or if they just kind of completely S the bet up until the trade deadline, and then
that's what I'm saying.
My thing is though, you get rid of him now, you might as well say goodbye to James Harden, and that's the whole reason why James Harden's here because that's what James Harden sees here. He sees a superstar. Why do you think he came here? I mean,
because this was a team that was willing to take him on. He's friends with the
Daryl Morey.
Daryl Morey.
Listen, no, I think Pat's right in some ways. I mean, like, listen, it is a sexy destination up until lately. The problem is we are on a slow start. It is what it is. We are maybe they're reenacting the Philadelphia Phillies. Hopefully not exactly. They can maybe pull out and win that championship in the long run. But maybe we got to wait for that shoe to drop, and then maybe they can go on a tear.
I'm not saying that that's not going to happen, but something's got to give.
Well, that's my thing is why I blame Doc Rivers more than anything. It's because this team has no identity.
It don't.
And when this team doesn't have an identity, that comes on the coach, in my eyes, for the most part.
And to piggyback off of Mike, though, he is right in the sense that the defense and the communication on the floor is abysmal. It's like there's no shutting down men. Look who it is! It's Joe Sullivan.
Let me ask you a question, Pat. You were watching the game last night, right? How many times did you see Clint Capella run free under the net and basically get a lob and dunk? How many times last night? I counted at least 4 or 5 times. But that's Embiid's guy. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hi, Jim Smith. What's going on, brother? I'm pretty sure I just ran into him. Time to fire Doc.
My buddy Mike Papper.
Yeah, I want to say real fast off the Joe's thing. He said he's getting tired of Embiid's act.
And that's
it. Yeah.
and that's where it's at now. Is if it's Embiid, I said this. I kind of, not to you guys. I was on my show probably right before the season started. I said if they come out to some bad start, or they don't, or the season ends up being where it's been ending or worse, this could be very well Joel Embiid's last year, and they all told me I was nuts.
No, I can definitely see that.
And
because-
but they're thinking from the fact that he wants to leave, and I'm like,
well,
I think he's
so.
showing that a little bit already. Like I'm not saying he's like, oh, pack my bags and get me out of here, give me a trade to get me out of
He
here.
wants to go play with Jimmy Butler so bad in Miami.
Oh yeah. But my point is, I think if this continues and they don't make a drastic change, he'll want to leave. And maybe they make a trade with Miami to get him, Butler, and him down there. But do you trade Embiid in the conference?
No, I'd send his ass to the best. Whoever gives me the best, I'm not sending him where he wants to go. Because he's
no. I know that, but I'm asking: do you, even if there's two offers on the table, one from in Western and one from an Eastern Conference, and say the Western one's not as good but comparable, do you go for the Eastern one, or keep him out of your?
I said, whoever gives you the most value, I'm not really worried about where it's at.
Yeah, because sooner or later you're going to have to play him anyway.
Sure.
So I mean, you get.
I'm talking about like the playoff. That's
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to listen. If he goes down there, if we trade him and he goes to Miami, we're going to have to face Miami. So I mean, either which way, you're still going to have to face him. So
and I'll go on the record now. Like,
Man.
if that does happen and he goes to Miami and if we come across them in the playoffs, he's absolutely going to eviscerate this team. Like, he would come for.
That's my point. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think he would like.
There's no easy answer. No matter how easily you guys are saying Sixers got to trade him. Right now, if they're like came across the wire, Twitter, whatever social media, that the Sixers are entertaining trade talks with Joel Embiid, no matter where it was going, you're going to start gulping a little bit. You have to imagine he is.
No, he is a good player.
He's not just a good player. I mean, at his best, he's a generational talent.
Yes.
Like the things that they thought Ben Simmons was, he is.
Correct.
He is, because he has the abilities to be. So did Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons had a mental block. Yeah, I don't know if it's a mental block with Joel, because I don't know. Because here's my thing is, I said this a long, long, long time ago. I was not a big Brett Brown fan. Just wasn't. And it wasn't against Brett Brown, and more or less, it was against keeping Brett Brown around as long as they did. He should have been fired 2 years prior, at least 2 years prior. And it's not Brett Brown's fault. The problem is when you take a job and you tank and you knowingly lose, you create a losing culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they let that losing culture go on too long. Then they move. It's just certain things that boggle my mind that sports teams do. Like, you bring in Bryce Harper, and who you bring in as your manager? You bring in the nobody guy who's never done this before, who's a giant goof, who I don't understand the thought process behind that one. Then you do the same thing. You have Joel Embiid, fine, and then you have Elton Brand as your general manager, like making decisions on who you're going to pick up and sign Tobias Harris to a gigantic, ridiculous contract. And just different, and nothing against Toby. I do like Toby, but ultimately he was well overpaid. Correct. And it's different things that they got themselves out of, like the Al Horford contract. I wanted Al Horford here, not for what they paid for, but I wanted him here.
But I mean,
there's just different things that they do that continually shoot themselves a foot to create this culture. And I think we're at that precipice now. We're standing on the edge, looking down and going, where do we go from here? They're coming this way. Do I jump, or do I wait and take on this person running up against me?
Yeah, but the whole thing, having Embiid in this lineup, is always having that. You have that feeling like we could get to the Eastern Conference Championship. We have that feeling with him in the lineup. But now, like what Mike's saying, at the same token, with the injuries stacking up and the miscommunication on the floor, you're not too sure about Doc's coaching ability anymore. The signs are there. You get rid of the guy. The bench, everyone thought was going to be, better. And
this bench has been putrid. Like, I mean, last night they made it a point on the telecast to say that the Sixers were outscoring Atlanta's bench. They were like, I think it was like 20 or 18-0 or something at one point in time. And I said, well, it's about time. You know what I mean? It's about time but the defense, that defense last night, I'm telling you, Pat, if that game, I won't even say 5 minutes. If that game is 3 minutes longer, Atlanta comes back and wins that game. They had no answer.
No,
I mean, dude,
correct.
they were making Atlanta was making shots all over the place last night. Like there was nobody in their face,
And,
and then your boy Embiid was too busy hanging out near the foul line.
and that's part irks me. That's one thing I will say you're right on. That's the only one that grabs me by the junk in the wrong way. But
Here we go.
You always
You
find
must-
a
you
way to
must-
get here pretty quickly.
yes, but
That must
That's what he does best.
yes.
Gets here pretty quickly and then he's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Must have small hands.
Oh yes. That's why I'm glad Monique's here. But anyway, but look, man, it does bother me. Like you said, he guards on the perimeter instead of in the paint. He could be doing so much more.
There's a lot of bad habits on this team. I mean,
There is.
even Maxey, who I love to death.
Yeah, he doesn't turns the ball over too much.
He's got some bad hardened.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see him always looking for the foul. Every one of them, every one of those team members, as soon as they go up to the basket and they don't get the call, that's why their transition. Well, one of the reasons is their transition defense sucks. You got Embiid who lumbers to get back, and then you got guys like Maxey now who are going, what? Yeah, no call.
Oh, after every time they go to the hole,
Mhm.
every time they go to the hole, they're like this. Their arms are out. Oh, what?
And you know what? I think you also here's my thing is Harden had literally the rule was based off of Harden and the guy they just recently played in Young, right? That rule was made off because they made a career off of getting these calls by stepping into the foul. And the NBA said, no, this can't continue to happen. These guys are it's free money to these guys at this point.
Right.
And they stopped it. And that's why I think James Harden isn't going to get the calls that he used to get. And it's not just the ones for that, but just in general, because he is well known now.
Yeah, he's the grandfather. He was grandfathered in. This is the reason why we have this rule.
Yeah,
Right.
he's the reason that they know this is the reason why, and they're not going to get the calls. And I think the more they keep begging for it, the less they're going to get. They need to just go to the hole, try to draw the foul. If the foul doesn't come, get right back. They're just typical, simple basketball. I don't care if you're doing grade school coaching all the way up to the NBA. Just go to the hole. If it doesn't, everybody get back on defense. If you get the call, it's a bonus. That's why they call it a bonus, right? You're in the bonus, right? That's exactly why. If you keep trying to get it, what's going to happen? They're not going to give it to you because you're asking for it now.
Right. And so here goes the other issue. So today, like I said, and to what Mike's saying, that Trae Young was being the pass. Like he was just as doing what MB was doing, find the open guys, all those good things. Like I said, Capella, all those guys were becoming an issue down the stretch. Well, today they have the Jazz coming in tonight off of back to back. Do they start Embiid? And if they don't, what's going to be their answer? Because look, even though the Jazz lost yesterday to the Wizards, but the Wizards have Porzingis, and he does, he can be a good thing for them. But
Bradley Beal too.
and Bradley Beal, but and so I don't know what the Sixers are going to have if Embiid decides like
He's got to suck it up and go. I'm sorry.
yeah
These back to backs with him. It's early in the season. Like he's trying to get his. Like another thing they keep alluding to on these telecasts is that he's not in game shape yet. How the hell are you not in game shape?
it's just the season started.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, you're supposed to come into the season in game shape. This is what I mean about Joel Embiid. This is the same stuff over and over again with this dude.
I see it's a regression with him a little bit because the one thing we did have that complaint, he was just kind of like, here's a guy who would drink 6 containers of Shirley Temples and go eat fast food only. And we saw that him getting winded when they got knocked out by Toronto. When Jimmy Butler was on this team. And then he made this 180. He came back and he looked in good shape. He looked like he was taking it serious. He's taking a leadership role. Now it's like he seems disinterested.
Yeah,
and I think that's what like a guy like Joe Sullivan means by like I'm tired of his act. Not I think because some people took his now the season starts comments the wrong way because the Phillies were done. Now the season starts, and I don't know if he was trying to be funny or just be like, all right, guys, we're resetting what happened so far. We're starting it now. This is us getting on the right track and going. And some people took it the wrong way. A lot of people think that's his shtick. No, I think the shtick that people are tired of and they're just not even noticing it is he is a guy who's regressed. He has not progressed. He regressed from where he was progressing from. and we just see the same thing, if not worse, happening.
Yeah,
Because right now you're sitting number 10 or 12 in the
yeah,
in the
in the
division.
East, and you're going against number one in the West. How, like I said, they lost yesterday, but with to me, if they have Embiid in the lineup, they win. If they don't, lose because they're Jazz, like again, they're number one in the East, West, but they're very small, at the center position. They got Kelly Olynyk and all those, a couple other guys, but I mean, and Rudy Gay. I mean, nothing. With Embiid can't handle, but if they bring it, but if they don't have, that low pace presence, they're going to lose. And because you see it, you need firepower and you need that big, that's what MB can create for you. But like I said, if he's not there tonight,
But here's the thing: are they going to play him? Or is it going to be a load management game? Like, I'm sorry, like this is what I'm talking about. If he can play against,
I'm sorry, 9. The Sixers moved up to 9.
take your pants off.
Yeah, right.
Will you stop with that? It is Sunday. It's the Lord's Day.
Yes.
It's the Lord's Day.
It is. It's the Lord's Day, and you're dropping.
This is why I went to church on Saturday.
Yes.
Oh, I want to be there to see you go into a church.
Start steaming.
Yeah. But no. Here's the thing, though. Like, they played them against Atlanta last night. Okay, they got to play them against. They got to play them against Utah tonight. They got to play them.
Mhm.
You got. I mean, and if I'm Embiid, like, am I really getting up for this game? You know what I mean? You got to get up for this game. Denver's one of the premier.
I was going to say, I would hope that this kind of caliber
Utah.
talent would be. I mean, listen, the West compared to the East this year right now is drastically different, but at the same time, it's the number one team in the other side of the conferences, and you gotta. If he like, this is my thing is, I understand you got to kind of go and split this little 2-game series with the Hawks you had, and try not to win, but this should be where you get up for more than anything. Yes, last night was more like we look like dog shit. We were manhandled. We're gonna go. Okay, we're gonna go to Atlanta, and we're gonna play Atlanta and get it back.
Right.
But this game should be on the other side of the coin. Hey, best team, guys, we're good. Don't worry, we're good, and we're gonna prove it by beating the best team
from the Western
Conference.
But here's the thing, though. Like, if they play defense like they played last night, dude, they're gonna get smoked, even with Embiid in the lineup. Like, the way they played defense last night was so bad, dude. It was so bad. I was getting frustrated watching it. It got to the point, dude, that I literally turned it off and I watched UCLA and Arizona.
Wow.
That's how mad I got at the Sixers because to me, they were just, I'm like, you guys are not playing. Where is this defense at?
Right.
And when they started cutting impact, like, I know you had to have been getting frustrated watching that.
Yeah,
game.
well, that's like I said. I look with you. Like I said, I was all jolly good going because it was a nice up to the, like you said, in garbage time. That's where you start to sweat bullets. Like, oh boy, here we go. So, but look, man, before we continue anymore, man, here goes. Look, guys, if you're getting frustrated like I am, if you're heading down to the barn today, and if you're going to see maybe a Dallas Star there, and you want to, just let it out, and you need someone to talk to. Well, here goes my man David Arteri. Give him a shout today because he'll take care of all those personal injuries, criminal law, medical vehicle accidents, working compensation. Give my man a call today, 610-565-0300.
And guys, listen, if you want to be part of the action, Philly Sports Trips, the next biggest one is actually next week, man. They're doing the double dip out there. I think, was it the Indiana two-step that they're calling it? Saturday, going to see BC, Notre Dame. Sunday, going to Indianapolis. Matter of fact, our guy Joe Sully's actually doing that trip out there. Oh, you would help if your mic's on.
Yeah, by the way, just so you know, I know we sit here and tell everybody about Philly sports trips over and over and over again, and there's a good reason for it. Indianapolis sold out.
Wow.
New York sold out.
Oh wow, I didn't get it.
Listen, you can call them, we'll work something out, but right now they're sold out on the website. Right now, the only available trip right now for the Eagles away, the next available one is Chicago.
The Bears.
Yep. Yeah. Don't worry. If you guys need something, give us a holler. We'll talk to Vince for you and see what we can do.
And also, too, if you guys, like, for the home games, if you want to go down and do a tailgate, they also offer that, which, by the way, I can say for the price they're offering it for, it is truly amazing. I'm actually taking my wife for her birthday because she's a Packers fan, and they play the Packers. The 27th. I'm actually
feel bad for her right now. I never thought I'd say I feel bad for a Packers fan
listen,
right now.
She's nuts, dude. She was not happy with Mr. Rogers last weekend.
But, I mean, if you just look at the price and cut out the cost of parking, because that's part of it, It's and then your food and drink. It's almost
for 3 hours.
It's
I
a
was like,
no-brainer.
Yeah,
It's an absolute
It's a
no-brainer.
no-brainer, and I'm actually taking her for her birthday. Her birthday's actually next Sunday, so yeah.
But my point is, check out phillysportstrip.com because guys, Christmas is around the corner. I hate saying that, but because it drives me nuts saying it too. But Christmas is around the corner, and what a great Christmas present a Philly sports trip would be.
And guys, it's not just stuck to the Eagles either. They got good trips for the Sixers, also for the Flyers.
Philly spring training,
Union,
you name it. They keep putting new things out, and they just signed up with Gargano Travels. They're working together now, and trips to Italy coming up for 2023. So just not even just Philly sports trips now. They sign up with them. They're working together, and they're making it possible for you just to take maybe the wife on a vacation where there isn't a sport involved. But yeah, check them out, phillysportstrips.com, and don't forget the Most Delco Bar, Dolan's Bar.
I will be there tomorrow night. I am going there tomorrow night.
There you go. Tomorrow, Monday night. What a great place to be. You never know who you're going to run in there. 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park. Tell PJ the boys of EOP sent you. And guys, I know we're kind of ragging on the Sixers right now, but there is a Sixers game later today. They're playing the Jazz as we mentioned. So don't forget the post game's coming for that. And Clear the Ice. It will also be on tonight for those who haven't. Matty B's done with the Phillies, so we have Clear the Ice now because the Flyers are playing the Stars today as well. So
is that here or is that in Dallas?
Here. It's going to be here.
It's here.
It's here. Okay.
And all across all the time will also be live. So even on a Sunday without the Eagles, we got a full slate of programming for you.
I love them guys. The lacrosse guys.
Oh man,
that was awesome.
Yes,
dude.
Sir.
And by the way, I don't know if we mentioned on this show, and we're going to talk about it on the network a little bit more. Let's go to Prague because of such good work he did. There's a huge lacrosse organization in Canada that literally reached out to him, not the other way around, to ask him to go with them as their media to Prague to cover their tournament.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he said something too about he wanted to come down and I think he was talking about maybe going to a Wings game or something like that.
He was just here. I took him to a Phillies game in July, so he'll make the trip. He'll tell you he'll make the trip. He's crazy like that. That's what I love about him.
I mean, him, Muffler Mike, Sean, man, those guys do a phenomenal job.
Sean's the furthest.
Yeah.
He's all the way up in Western Canada.
Yeah, my man's up in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, he's.
I saw him. He had a snow blizzard the other day.
Yeah, he missed half a show or something because they were just piled in 12 feet of snow already. I'm sitting there going, it's sweating out here in November.
Yeah. My man. So look, I would love to dive in and talk to some Sixers, but however, I got to get to the other team, and I don't know if the Flyers are coming back down to earth. I don't know what it is. This is now their second game in a row on the road that they lost. But first of all, Wednesday, a certain somebody, Mr. Johnny Hockey, thumped him, and he made his presence known.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, and I told you,
here we go.
Yes,
here we go.
This is where you and I are going to drop the gloves,
and you're going to lose again.
No,
be prepared for a black eye.
I'm pulling the shirt, and I'll pull.
He considers that foreplay, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm digging for the wedgie.
Listen,
because
you can dig for whatever you want to dig for. Listen, did Johnny have a good game that game? Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, he had a good game.
I even wrote an article about it.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. And your fandom boy for this dude is just unreal. But
the Red Rocket is up. Well, hello.
Is that his new nickname, the Red Rocket?
Just call him RR.
Okay.
Short.
Okay.
But I mean, no, he did have a good game. I mean, superstars are going to do that. I keep telling you, Pat, he does not fit into this system.
A loser mentality.
No, it's not a loser mentality. When you play a defensive system like Tortorella plays, okay? Now, you want to sit here and throw numbers out. You know the Flyers, even after yesterday, okay? Their penalty kill is 8th in the NHL.
Right. And look, I'm not knocking for that.
No, you are knocking.
Yes, I am knocking.
Listen, dude, where were they going to put him? Where are they going to put Johnny Hockey? They couldn't get rid of. They have contracts that they can't get out of. Nobody would take.
Yeah, but wasn't he willing to take a pay cut?
It doesn't matter. No, he wasn't. Not that much of a pay cut. Not too much of. They made him an offer. This is what you don't understand.
I don't know.
You act like the Flyers didn't make him an offer. They made him an offer. He chose to go to Columbus.
I don't know. It just looked like he was out on a mission on Wednesday night. He looked like he was, like I said, you
Dude,
know,
he played a good game. He
he
played a
did.
good game. All right.
you know,
Hey, pat on the back, dude.
and then how about yesterday? And look, everyone was happy, and
To see Giroux.
Giroux, and 16 years, first time coming to South Philly as the enemy, and a guy
And I thought that was awesome too. They gave
Yeah.
him a nice standing ovation.
the nice tribute video.
That was awesome.
And like I said, and I want to get to the question with you because I put this up on the Devro Sports page, and I made a post up, and I'll ask you too. But anyway, look, man, again, Kevin Hayes got on the scoreboard early, and then they answered back, and then it just unraveled after that. Guys are making dumb moves. Scott Lofton makes a dumb penalty, and that's where
Oh, that's another thing.
the slashing, and then he winds up going to the sin bin, and then it just snowballed, and they Drew find guys opening, guys connecting, just like I said,
Dude, the Ottawa Flyers beat themselves yesterday.
yes,
They beat themselves yesterday.
and
And
glad you
I'm not
brought
going to
that
say.
up.
Listen, I checked out the little 10-minute video. I did not realize that the Flyers were on yesterday because it's college football. So I was in my college football mode. And then when I saw that they had played already, I went back and watched. And just from what I was seeing in those little packages, one, the Flyers were committing dumb penalties. Okay. Which is very uncharacteristic. Again, Pat, if you look at the Flyers rank in the NHL for penalty minutes, dude, this is the lowest they've ever been.
Right.
So you listen, it's a young team. This is what you guys are like. You're real quick to
Hump a leg.
yeah, you're real quick to hump a leg. Me and Matty B have been telling you guys all since before the season started. Pump your brakes a little bit. They're going to make mistakes. They're a young team. This is how a young team learns.
Right.
Okay, and some of these guys you're supposed to be putting the puck in the net aren't doing it.
Correct.
Where's Travis Konechny? Anybody see him? I'm about to put his face on a milk carton.
No, I mean, look, and he's playing all right. He's been doing all right as far as assists and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I need him to put the puck in the net, bro. Not setting
I mean,
people up.
Torts got on his case big time. I mean,
he
had to.
benched him.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's going to happen.
Where's Cam Atkinson?
Yeah, well, he's an MIA too. He's never.
Like
he's
I'm
not even-
about to put a missing report out for this guy too.
Right. Well,
I mean, I think with the Flyers, it's just you said come down the earth. I don't think we ever got off Earth.
Yeah, they're just
We
coming.
might have had our head in the clouds, but I don't think we were off planet Earth.
right.
I don't think any of us were really like going, oh, this team's just gonna go on a roll and be number one in the division
Dude,
forever.
it's
and,
ebb and flows, bro.
Right.
Especially with hockey. You know how hockey
Yeah.
can be. You can look good for 2 weeks, and then look good, then look bad for a month, and then come back and have another 2 months looking good.
Right.
It's
And-
going to be up and down. Listen, they've played. If you watch them against what I call the Eastern Conference elites,
Right.
Flyers have held their own.
No, and they are. They
I mean, they
step
lost
up.
1-0 to the Rangers.
So far. So look, 0-3 on power plays yesterday. And if you guys saw Wayne Allison's injury yesterday, it was weird. He wanted to go check somebody. As he turned into the check, he kind of like torqued his lower back, and that was it. So he's going to be out.
That's
for
another
some time.
lower body injury.
Yeah, he's going to be out for some time because he didn't return to the game.
I'm gonna get a Flyers jersey that says it on the back.
Do you really?
No, I'm gonna get one that says lower body injury.
But yeah, one thing I will give the Senators as I watch, them play, they played very good man to man in defensive zone, like where the Flyers just didn't have an answer. And like you said,
The Flyers look like they didn't have no legs yesterday.
and to your point, you do bring up, they beat themselves. John Tortorella brought up in the press conference. He's like, we had two opponents. We had the Ottawa Senators and we had ourselves. We lost ourselves. We made dumb.
But here's the thing, though. This is where, and like I said, I will state this over and over again. I was not a Tortorella guy. At all.
Same.
We were both not Tortorella guys. We didn't like to hire.
Mhm.
Okay. What he's proven to me is that he's evolved in his coaching because you're not seeing the loudmouth, cocky fighting with the, with the reporters. Oh, it's my way or the highway. He's adapting to what he has. And
right.
And I'll tell you what, he's made them. I mean, if you look at the Flyers defensively, they're games like yesterday are going to be an anomaly. Like they may lose games, but they're not going to give up a lot of goals. Like games last year when we were losing 6-7-0,
Right.
like you're not going to see
With
that
better talent.
with better talent. You're not going to see that. This team staying at home, they're playing defense. For the most part, they were staying out of the box. Okay.
Right.
Look, if you look at them penalty wise, I think there's only 2 teams ahead of them that have less penalty minutes than the Flyers did going into yesterday.
Right.
So I mean, you got to tip your cap, which I am,
Mhm.
And you got to give Tortorella credit. He's got this team playing, and it's a bunch of young guys. Like you got to remember, Pat. Most of this roster that's here was playing in Lehigh last year.
Right, and like I
So-
said, I agree with you, Mike, because when you look at this team, they like I said, to me, this is like the second year of the Sixers tanking year, where there's only one, two, maybe two pieces that you really have. A bunch of guys who got thrown in this roster who pretty much were telling you we're meant to lose guys. But no, like you said, Torella came in here to change the culture of this. Whatever, 50 years of Broad Street bully hockey. I'm gonna, knock your lights down. I don't care about the scoreboard. I just want to fight. That stuff had to been changed. And like you said, this is the first year since '93 since there's no captain. Like he's getting rid of all this egotistical. He expects big plays from TK. TK is not living up to it at times. He's got to sit the bench, and he tells you strip how
Like the big guys that were brought in here to do something aren't doing it.
no.
Like I'm sorry. Like if I'm the Flyers, honestly, deadline, I'm looking to move on from Kevin Hayes. I'm looking to move on from Cam Atkinson. I'm looking forward to if you can get something for Travis Konechny, trade him.
Yeah.
You want to clean house?
Yes, because they have a good nucleus. Farabee's a good starting point. Morgan Frost is another good starting point. You have the young defenseman. Get rid of Provorov too.
Yeah.
Pack his bags.
I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be the least surprising to me.
But I mean, you get rid of these guys. Number one, it's going to knock down your cap situation going forward for next year. Get rid of Van Riemsdyk.
Mhm.
What is he doing?
No-
Like,
nothing.
I mean,
I think they would if they could.
Yeah.
It's
Nobody
his
wanted him.
contract. It's
dude,
his contract.
the Flyers there was a trade. I literally see that. I follow this guy who does the NHL. He's up in Canada and he does it on his YouTube channel. And I'm sitting there following him, and he says the Flyers offered to pay James Van Riemsdyk's salary, but they were going to send him to the Seattle Kraken, and the Kraken told him no. The Kraken didn't even want him.
Wow.
So for free, they were willing to.
Yeah, they said we're going to trade him to you. We'll pay his salary for this year. We need the roster spot. And Kraken were like, nah, sorry, we don't need him.
Well, can't you just drop him at that point and pay him?
I think they were looking to get
some kind of value.
they were looking to get
There
something,
had to be like a
lower level prospect or something.
something.
But yeah, they wanted something in return.
But part of the deal was you wouldn't have to pay a cent for him.
Yeah.
You just have to give us.
So
some
I mean,
sort of
to be honest with
trade
you,
value.
come trade deadline, if he's he doesn't need to be on this team. Like
No.
he has brought nothing twice to this team. It's kind of like who was the guy that we stole from the Lightning back in the '90s?
Vinny Couturier?
Well, he's one. No, the other guy. I'm trying to think of his name. He came to us. Was a total bomb. He went back to Tampa, and then the Flyers reacquired him for like a playoff run, and he was horrible. But he used to kill the Flyers all the time. What the hell? Oh, Chris Gratton.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Chris Gratton.
man, you really reached into the bag on that
Dude,
one.
but-
I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, hold on.
But here's another one too. Like he said, Vinny Lecavalier. How
Yeah.
many years did he kill us? And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he gets
Get a
here.
max contract.
Yeah, he gets here and forgets how to play hockey. Then he's
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
that was toward what was that? Laviollette's tenure.
Lafayette.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what did Lafayette.
Yeah.
So, but look, man, Mike, before I go talk a little bit about this Dallas team that's coming in there today.
Dude, they're
another-
good. They're
They
good.
are very good team.
They're my pick to go to the They're my pick to represent the Western Conference this year.
Really?
Yeah, they're good.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
no,
really
that's-
good.
I mean, look, they got this guy, Justin Robertson. He's you know,
Sniper.
yeah, very,
Sniper.
sixth in points, fifth in or seventh in
Bro,
goals.
he's got the most wickedest slap shot I've ever seen.
You s-
Like you watch him
Yeah, it's
play.
nasty. He's got some nasty stuff.
Yeah, he does. Like his wrist shot is like 80 miles an hour.
So, like, if the Flyers had tired legs yesterday, I can only imagine what
Well, I
they're gonna
think
look like.
Dallas played yesterday too. So they were
No, they played Friday. They took an L to the to the Sharks. They
They
lost in
lost
overtime.
5-4 to the
Mm.
Sharks
Mm.
on
So-
Friday, and then today's their day, so they had
Yeah.
a day of rest.
So they did have a day rest. So they should be
well,
looking
the
at
Flyers had a day of rest too because they didn't show up yesterday.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, but here's the
Who's in
thing.
goal tonight? Are they starting?
Sandstrom. He was all right the other night. He actually,
Bro,
Here's the problem, and this is what they're going to run into. This is why the last 6 games for the Dallas Stars. Ready? 6-3 they won, 5-2, 7-2, 6-2, 5-1, and they lost 5-4 because they only put up 4 points.
Yeah, and then
That's 4
you're
goals.
going to start Sandstrom.
It's not even just Sandstrom. It's like, can we keep up? Like, can we keep up with
pace
that? Yeah,
on
can we?
offense.
Can Sandstrom slow them down? Can our defense slow them down?
Well, I will say
Again-
this. I saw a game, it was probably about a week or so ago, or maybe 2 weeks in Dallas, when they played St. Louis. And that St. Louis team kind of handcuffed them a little bit.
Let me ask you, if, since with the recent changes, 2 questions before we move on. Are you guys fans of their jerseys, the Dallas Stars new jerseys?
What, the lime green?
Yeah.
The black with the line? Yo, they're hot.
They
Do
look.
you like
they,
it?
They look like lacrosse or soccer jerseys or lacrosse jerseys.
I don't care. I would
the color
rock one.
scheme, I should say.
Yeah,
I would
they
rock one.
yeah, they kind of remind me of the new,
I won't
like,
rock
this
anything with the word Dallas on it. Sorry, I
Yes.
can't do it.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
with you.
well,
Yeah, but look, I like I said, to me, like I said, it's I do like the jersey. I think it's a little, it's like the new Seattle Seahawk when I had to kind of like adapt from the
they
old
got
one.
the worst ones. I'm sorry. No.
You're not a fan of it?
No, Seattle and Oregon. No, when they come out with those highlighter uniforms, no, I'm good. Like my eyes are killing me. You tried watching that Oregon game yesterday. If you tried watching it, did you be like literally throwing water in your eyes, trying to like? This is how bright they are.
Yeah.
You think it's a tactic?
Yeah.
It's got to be something.
Yeah.
Man.
So before let's move on. Like we alluded earlier, before we start the hockey show talk, we talked about Giroux. They showed this highlight reel. Let me ask you, Mike, where is he on your top? Does he make your top 5 captains list?
Yeah,
For
Captain's
Flyers.
list.
Yeah,
For Flyers.
for Flyers, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
he
I
a
mean,
top-
his longevity as a captain. I mean, if you take a look at it, he was pretty long
Yeah.
as a Flyers captain, and he was all right. You know,
I think. Listen, I've always defended Claude Giroux. A lot of people like, oh, he's a bum. He sucks. He this. He's that. Blah blah blah. I just I don't get the hate on, because it's just like, well, if you left Embiid out, it's like Allen Iverson. I'm not saying he's the Allen Iverson of the Flyers, but it's like you had a guy with no talent around him for a while. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
they
it
have
was all-
marginal talent. Like
Yeah.
I mean, guys like Simmons. Simmons was
I'm-
good, but Simmons was good to a
Well,
point.
the best time they put talent around him, they went to the Cup, even being down 0-3 to the Bruins.
The best year he had is when the Flyers signed Yager for that 1 year.
Correct. I see that, I talked with me and Pat Egan had this conversation, and me and him down at 975. Down at Xfinity Live, we were hanging out, and we were saying, like, I told him, I said, I just feel like, Giroux has always been if Larry Fitzgerald, like, he's always was that guy, but he never had that goalie to carry him over. Like, he never, like, Larry Fitzgerald never had that quarterback. Like, he never had that goalie to help him sustain, a win. And like you said, and to your guys' point, he never had the to surround him, make him better. He never had a good team. You had Borchak, and you had Simmons, which
Yeah,
is,
a lot of people killed. When I said, "Oh, good riddance to Voracek." What has he done?
no.
Like
Nothing.
he's still doing the same stuff. He's doing the same stuff for Columbus that he did for the Flyers.
I think some people, like, I don't think most people were upset about that Voracek move.
No.
I think
Well, no, it was time.
I think it was just time in everybody's head. At the very least, even if you liked him, you're just like, time to move on. Since you answered the question, give me your top 5
Captain.
captains, because I don't know. It might be a tight race. Now that I have a list I'll give you the list. All right,
Let's.
I'll give you the list. It's not a huge list, believe it or not. Some guy you got. I'm not going to pick the first one. Nobody even heard of him. Ed Van Imp, Bobby Clark, Bill Barber, Mel Bridgman, Dave Poland. Polin, is it Polin?
Dave Poland.
Poland. Yeah, I always say it wrong. Ron Sutter, Rick Tocchet, Eric Lindros, Eric Desjardins, Keith Primo, Peter Forsberg, Mike Richards for a while. Then Claude Giroux, of course, was on a tear. Chris Pronger made a slip the year in there too, before he got injured.
Mhm.
There's a couple other guys in there. Darren Hatcher. Nobody else I think is going to move the needle.
Darren Hatcher.
Yeah.
I forgot he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot he was Flyers captain for like a year. Hold on, wasn't like Mark? What was that defenseman's name? Mark Smith or whatever? Wasn't he a Flyers captain for a year when they were bad?
There's a year in 92 to 93. They don't even have a captain listed.
No, there wasn't one.
Yep. There's assistant captains.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Brindamore.
not 92, 93.
Oh no, Brendan Moore was doing.
Deneen,
Yeah, Kevin
Ack-
Deneen,
Acton, and Karkner.
Jerry Carter.
So if I'm going to take, I'll take my first. Obviously, I got to go with the guy I grew up with. I got to go Big E. Big E would be my number one.
Which one?
And Lindros.
Okay. There's two Erics. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
I'm making sure. Just
yeah,
making sure.
Yeah, I got to go Eric Lindros. And Eric Lindros was my guy.
I mean, I think if you had to go number one overall, Bobby Clark.
Bobby Clark would be number one.
Most people, even
What
if
about Timmy Kerr? Timmy Kerr was a captain at one point in time, wasn't he?
I don't have him as a captain. I may be assistant captain. Hold on.
I could have sworn he was a captain.
I got to throw
This is according to EliteProspects.com. They have the Philadelphia Flyers captain history, and I don't see what was the name again.
Timmy Kerr.
I don't see him on here.
Oh, anyway, I would do Bobby Clark.
There's a couple years where there was dueling captains. In 2001, 2002, Primo and Desjardins, Lindros and Desjardins, Bobby Clark and Bill Barber a couple times.
I would do Clark. I would do Dave Poulin. Dave Poulin was a good captain.
Yeah.
You got to put Dave there.
Tockett was okay. Then I would put Lindros, and then the last one I would put. I like Keith Primo. I thought Keith Primo was a damn good captain.
I just think because of his short tenure. I mean, he was only 1, 2, 3. There was a year he was a dual captain with Desjardins and Hatcher, but I guess that would be the only. I mean, just because of longevity, I think you have to put Giroux in there. I mean, and then Van Imp. I mean, you can't. I mean, just from history, it's so it might be hard to make him number 5, but he's close to number 5.
Yeah, like I said, he probably
The other guys won stuff, or came close to it. I mean, I guess he did one.
So
year.
where does Giroux fall in the middle of all this?
Well, Giroux's the longest tenure
captain, right? So, but do you on Al's Mount Rushmore? Is he?
Mount Rushmore was 4 players, right?
No, but I mean, okay. Is he sitting at one in Al's mind?
Is he sitting at 1?
Yeah.
Oh no. Number 1 overall captain in Flyers history?
Yeah.
No. You can't take away from the guy who won back-to-back Stanley Cups. I mean, he's got to be number 1.
Bobby.
Even if you're like, listen, he's so old school, and all the old hockey guys be pounding their chest, and all the young guys be like, who? You know what I mean? But you have to go Bobby Clark, number 1.
My dad said he went to a bar one time up in the Northeast, and he said Bobby Clark was coming in as a rookie. So he said he's like, but the guy had diabetes. He said, my dad said,
that was the thing that made him tough. Like, here's a guy that they thought wasn't going to last in the league because of his health issues.
Yeah. And like my dad said, there's one time where he took a skate, slashed him across the face, and just kept on grinding.
That's the kind of
that was back then. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and he's got a beautiful set of teeth. I mean, nothing like it.
Guys, can I give a quick update here?
Yeah.
Nothing over in Munich. Right now, Tampa Bay.
Right.
Tampa Bay just missed a field goal.
I gotta see if I got anyone in my fantasy lineup. But anyway, yeah. So you gotta go Bobby, then Lindros. Then I would put Giroux at 3. Is that fair?
Yeah. All right. So Adam's saying Lou is it Angotti? He was like a captain 1 year for the first. He was the first one ever. Yeah,
you're right. Jason Smith. That's who I was thinking of. I told you
he's not on this. I don't know. I'm not saying this list is all end all be all.
No, but he was. It was.
He might have been an assistant captain.
No, he was a captain because everybody. It was a big. I remember that because I forget what season it was. It might have been like 2013 or something. The Flyers were bad. They were going to be bad.
They only have Claude Giroux listed in this one, and then the assistant captains were Briere, Hartnell, and Chemo.
I forget. Maybe it might have been like
wow.
maybe like 07 or something like that. It was one of the years, one of the Flyers down years. They signed this dude from, I believe, Ottawa, and he came in and he ended up becoming he was the captain. Matter of fact, I don't even think he lasted a whole year.
I don't see him.
Yeah, Jason Smith. I do remember. I said the last name Smith. I just didn't remember the first name.
He was Flyers captain in 07, 08.
Okay, that's what I said.
Well, this list sucks. Then I don't have to tell you. Does not have him on there in that.
Yeah, I would. I
knew that. I knew.
Oh no, it does. They have it. They have that year twice. I'm sorry. For some reason, that year's marked twice.
Right.
So it must be a mistake on their behalf. Because there's 4 assistant captains and 1 captain. That's the most I've ever seen is 4 assistant captains.
That's a little too much.
Yeah.
That was your boy.
No, I mean, that's.
Can you name those 4 assistant captains?
What, from
in 07?
Yeah. 07?
God, let's see. I want to go
I just mentioned one of them. I'll give you guys a hint on one of them. I just
Hatcher. Darian Hatcher was on that team.
and I also mentioned this one too. I guess
Hatcher was on that team. Giroux was on that team.
Drew was not.
Oh no,
not a captain
not
that
not
year.
07. No, I'm sorry.
because he came up in 06.
It was Hatcher. God, they were god awful that year too.
Not Briere. Briere was a little too short.
No, Briere wasn't there yet.
Keith.
Nope.
No, Keith.
I said I just mentioned him. Funny name.
Chemo.
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 Yeah.
Chemo.
Chemo, Darian, one that you know he was I'll give you this guy became a captain after this for a few years after that run after 07.
He became captain for Mike Richards.
Mike Richards.
Mike Richards. Yeah.
And then the other one is he was more coming out than going in, but a classic flyer.
Simone Gagne.
Simone Gagne.
Look at this guy with some hockey knowledge over here.
Early 2000s Flyers were my wheelhouse. Like,
Yeah, that was
at one point in
that's
time,
what I knew.
hockey was my
Yeah.
sport. But
Yes.
Yeah, Kerr wasn't a captain. I'm not seeing him either.
I thought I for some odd reason I thought he might have been because he was such a great player.
Oh, now he's saying he was captain forward.
He was captain.
Oh, maybe he. He's saying the other guy we were talking about. What's this? Derpy 501st. Hey fellas, sorry about the Phillies. At least the Eagles. I don't know how much you know about fantasy. Need opinion on my starting lineup though.
send it through Derpy.
Yes, send it through. We'll look at it, but
Yeah.
whatever Pat says, do the opposite.
Bingo.
Bingo.
Because I'm at 4-5 right now. I kind of stink.
Yeah, I took down the giant of the league last
Yes,
week.
he did.
Yeah,
This
Gus.
man.
Yeah, Gus, I'm looking at you. I
Is
whooped
he
that
a
ass.
Giant fan or just the
No,
number
no.
one? He was
No,
the-
he was leading the league. He was 8-0.
Oh, really?
And then he went
Yeah.
up against my juggernaut, which, by the way, I had like a couple guys that were off. So, kind of spanked that ass a little bit. Sorry, Gus.
Ooh, Gus found out the hard way. He finally took it out. But
Took
then-
it on the chin like a champ, just like my boy right here.
Yes, I take a lot. What's up? But look, man. So like I said, I think we could go 1 Bobby, 2 Lindros, 3. I'm gonna say Drew, 4 Premu, and 5 Tokic. Does that sound about right?
It's your list.
That's your list,
That's
yeah.
your list. I can't sit
Yeah,
there and
I
go,
mean,
hey, you're wrong.
We can sit here all day and fight about
And
what
fit.
4
Yeah,
and 5 and 3 and 2 are. Yeah.
Yes. So, but look, man. Like I said, I could talk Arlington Black all day. However, we do have the Eagles not playing today. They will be in tomorrow against the Washington Commanders. Again, I think the Washington Commanders have gotten a little better since the last time we've seen them. No, they've won 3 straight. They lost just by their nose hair last week against the Vikings. So now all of a sudden, they're going to be coming into South Philly, a place that you don't want to be a part of. And I think they're going to get spanked. I just don't feel a trap game. Everyone is always scared of the trap when this team is going to fail and all that stuff. And I just don't think the Eagles are there. I just don't think that they're kind of team that's going to fail. I just think that any kind of, and I watched Bird's IQ with Kyle Quinn. He was saying about when's the shoe going to fall? When's he? Listen,
We're so used to shoes.
yeah.
We're so used to shoes hitting us.
Well, look.
Is that why there's shoes over the power lines
Yes.
all over Philadelphia area?
Yes,
because we're waiting for that shoe to drop and knock us out or something.
Yes, because I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. That's what people wait. Like I saw Kyle saying, look, the run, playing about the run. Listen, the run defense is going to be there. It's going to be fine. Jonathan Gannon's going to make adjustments. They won the game. They're still winning games. Big, by majorly. So it's not like they're winning games by like we're looking for every little thing to nickel and dime and cry about and stop. Just be happy with the Birds. Just be.
Everybody's picking out one of these games saying the Eagles are going to lose. Well, guess what, man? Until they lose, I'm not losing faith until they lose. I'm not scared of
our guy Adam here saying this like it's factual. When someone says something like that, like I want what you're basing this off of. I don't care where you're playing. This team hasn't lost a game yet. So all respect, Adam. That's a baseless claim, and that's just your prediction.
Listen, and the reason the people are saying, oh, they're going to go in this, they're going to go in this 3-game road games, and then they're going to be like, oh, well, they're going to have to lose one. And yeah, I guess that makes sense. I think what makes people feel that is you got 2 divisional games in there, and both those teams are playing well. Because after Monday night, Washington, we're just done with them for the rest of the year. So and then you got the Giants, the Bears, and the Cowboys. So I'm guessing
And
the Bears.
you're missing the Saints. The Saints are in that mix too.
And that's another thing that's irking me. Okay,
Yeah, but they're at home. I'm saying that
like-
3-game
road-
road
sorry.
streak. Yeah.
to like Adam's point here. Okay, they're going to go 3 road games. After this. Okay, in December. Like, okay, they're going to play the Giants. They're going to eat them up. That's what, and I think they're going to go to okay. Bears
I
are
think the
playing-
Giants game will be closer than you think.
Yeah,
I think
they'll-
so
they'll-
too. But I mean, if you look at it, I'm going to be honest with you. Over the last decade and a half, the Eagles have owned the Giants. They're 26,
Especially in the Meadowlands.
they're 26-4 against the Giants.
Mhm.
26-4. Like
Right.
you don't like this series. Not only did the Eagles catch the Giants, they passed them in the all-time series,
Mhm.
which I think is really funny.
Because
And
they were leaning on us hard.
Yeah, they were. And I'll tell you right now too, Washington. I believe the Eagles are close to catching them in the all-time series. The only one that we're really kind of still far behind is the Cowboys, but it's not that much. It's like maybe 8 games or 16 games or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Chris. One game at a time, and that's what the Eagles.
And
do.
that's my thing is it's like I want to keep like clipping this out. Get Adam saying, "Oh, well, they're gonna blow it," because then it's gonna happen. They win. Say they win on Monday night. They win on Monday night. They beat the Commanders. Are you gonna go into Sunday against the Colts at 1:00 and be like, "Oh, well, we got a guy who's never coached just because he wore the jersey. It was Saturday there."
That team is not going to win another game all year.
And
That you could take that to the bank.
I said this. Thank you. I said it. That's why Saturday's there. It is because nobody wants to win. That's why I'm telling you. I don't think Wright got fired because of he overall had a winning record.
Dude, that guy.
I think he wanted out. I think he saw like this place is ridiculous, and I think Ursa is like, I'm done. I want to lose. I'm gonna tank.
Yes.
And he Wright's probably like, no, we're gonna try to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That division is up for grabs.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
division is so up for grabs. So like the Colts really weren't even where they are now. They really weren't out of it. I mean, they have enough time to turn it around. Like Tennessee is like running away with this division.
Yeah. So
and then they got to see us in a couple weeks. A few
yeah.
weeks.
I'll tell you what, like Pat, looking at this Eagles schedule going forward, right? One thing I'm getting tired of hearing about, I'm tired of hearing these Cowboy fans say that we haven't played anybody when they honestly have
Oh
the
my
same
God.
exact schedule, except they instead of playing our 17th games were different. Okay, they played Cincinnati at home. We got Pittsburgh at home.
Mm.
Okay, because that was where the 17th game, went. But I mean, I'm sorry. If you watch that Eagles game, even as an objective Cowboys fan, you cannot sit there and tell me that the Eagles did not.
Well,
For the first half of that game, the
does-
Eagles it was a one-sided fight. It was like punching a punching bag.
Well, and to your point, this is another thing that irks me. And like I said, I love my man Matt. Me and him talk a lot. We break it down and all this stuff. Like you said, me and him both agreed. Me and Matt were saying, like, look, the records, the schedules are what they are. The teams are playing good, but your boss over there, he's sitting there.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Chill with that.
He goes on TikTok and posts like, "Oh, well, you played a pack." Now all of a sudden we play. Now that he
Dude, that's been a common theme for
hold on.
all Cowboy fans.
Hold on,
It's
hold on.
been you beat
Yeah.
Cooper Rush, and I said, well, wasn't Cooper Rush 4-0 leading into that game?
yes, and number two, and he goes, and like a lot of people said, it would have been different if it would have been different if Dak was in there. How do you know? What would have been so different?
I always say also to the Cowboys fans in that situation is look at their schedule. Look who they beat. I mean, who did they really beat? I mean, they didn't have a tough schedule either.
Dude, according to them, we played the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl a year ago. Both of them suck. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Cincinnati's not the same Cincinnati from a year ago.
The Rams are what 3 and what?
And the Rams are having a Super Bowl hangover. And you scored 3 points against the Bucks at home
yeah.
with Dak.
Who can't score
So I'm
7
sorry.
points or 9 points
And
a game?
This is what I threw back in their face. And I told them, I said, listen, the only reason you guys got to 17 points and what made it look like a game was because Gannon and Sirianni took a nap in the third quarter.
I'm going to ask Ryan. I'm going to ask you this question
Yeah.
because this keeps popping up.
Yeah, I actually wanted to bring this up. I was thinking about it yesterday.
Go ahead.
I spent a whole radio. All I do is listen to sports radio, work a couple podcasts. all they talked about this week is how you should drop a game because it takes the pressure off. What kind of logic is that?
Worst logic in the world.
How do you
Jeremy, I love the
How do you
chiming
plan a
in,
loss?
but I had to call you out on this one, bro. I had to.
Yeah, like what is it? Like
You play.
you should consider losing a game or two.
All right, guys, we're gonna go on this one. Everybody take their foot off. You know what, Jalen, take a night off. Gardner, you're in today. That is
Ain't that what week 18's for?
no. Isn't that what a losing mentality is? Isn't that what I just said about Brett Brown and all that? When you go in with a losing mentality, because you know
Dude,
what?
How many times have we heard Brett Brown in basketball say, "Oh yeah, we had it on the schedule as a loss already"? Guess what? Football's different. You play one game a week.
Yeah, and that's my point is you can't schedule a loss because if you schedule losses, because then this player schedules a loss in his head, and that player doesn't schedule a loss in his head, and that's when you have a problem internally. You play each game for what it is.
And two, like, no offense, but you gotta give it's due. Like the Cowboys and Giants are still in your river mirror. It's not like they're taking like you can't like you still want that number one seed.
I'm just struggling to. I just read that on the computer.
I know it's like
you guys should consider losing a game or two. What is going on?
There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people out there. Why? They don't want. They're afraid of going undefeated, and then that weight would lay on us, and we'll blow it in the playoffs.
That's what everybody's.
I like what Ken Fryer says. He's like Herm Edwards says. You play the game. You play to win the game.
Right, and that's what everybody's biggest fear is because. If you remember New England, they went undefeated, got to the Super Bowl, and then they lost the Super Bowl. And that's what everybody's worried about.
Because everybody looked past New York that entire time. Even I remember each round New York kept moving up.
I took them.
I'm just sitting there going, they're going to lose this one. Oh, they're going to lose the Green Bay. Oh, they're going to lose this one. And they didn't. They didn't.
I'm looking at it like this. If we are so blessed for the Eagles to go undefeated, let me ask you a question. Who in the right mind had the Eagles going to the Super Bowl this year? Preseason.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had Jalen Hurts.
Nobody had Jalen Hurts.
No. How many people told me Jalen Hurts by week 6 or like by this time this year would have been the Minshew show by now? A lot of people.
No, like I said, if anybody, I gotta tip my hat. They called that Jalen Hurts was going to have a better year. I gotta tip it to Mike. Mike's been calling this show since April.
Told him.
And
I listen. We had battles because everybody was, his completion percentage. I said, dude, this guy's gotten better. Like we finally have a leader at the quarterback position who's willing to put the work in. Like this dude is like his mentality. He's got a winning mentality, no matter how you look at it. Like he's got that winning mentality. I'm gonna go to work. My rent's due.
And that's a good point. And you know what? It's funny. I kind of come 180 on the situation because that's what everybody stroked Jalen Hurts about over the last couple of years before this year is, he has these intangibles. He has this ability. He has this. He has that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but can he come up big? Can he be clutch? Can he make that deep throw if we need him to? He's checked those boxes. So if you're not on the Jalen Hurts train now,
you're just a hater.
Yeah, now you just see. There's a lot of people out there who would rather be right than be wrong and go to the Super Bowl.
And again, I'm with you guys. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I was listening to my man John Barcher, and he said the same thing. People want Jalen to fail. They want to fail, and them.
Yeah, they don't want to see him
because they want to be right. They want to be right.
People rather have a hot take than a winning season and winning the Super Bowl, I think, someday.
Listen, the biggest hot take I think I've heard about Jalen Hurts is, and it came from Skip Bayless, and he loves Jalen Hurts, okay? But he said he's Tebow-esque. And to me, I have an issue with that because I feel like...
Come on, man.
I feel like... No.
Cowboys fan. I mean, come on.
But no. He said, going into this year, it was, he is Tebow-esque, but he's a better version of Tebow. Like he's better. And I'm sitting there going, and I'm sitting there looking at him going, because he runs. I was like, okay.
Oh, then he's Michael Vick-esque. Then he's Randall Cunningham-esque. I mean, Lamar Jackson-esque.
Right. But if you look at it, really, like I had an argument with a Cowboys fan last night, and I pretty much had to tell him, like, he was like, your quarterback all he does is run around. I said, well, obviously you ain't been watching the Eagles. I said, because he hasn't run.
Ask A.J. Brown. He did a couple of weeks ago when he had 3 touchdown passes.
None of them.
By the way, none of these scores were in the red zone. Anybody else want to point that out? Not one of those scores when A.J. Brown went off was in the red zone against the Steelers. Just want to point that out there.
Right. But you know what? It was the Steelers. They're one of the worst teams in the league. And that's what you get.
But hold on. This is what drives me nuts. Let's go back to 2017 for a second. Anyway, hold on. While we're doing this, I want to
He doubled down.
hold on.
You should consider.
Put a bet down, Derpy. Put a bet down.
Hold on. All right. So here's the thing: is I went to the 2017 Eagles schedule. I'm going to go through this with you guys real quick. I want to point something out. All right. So week 1, they beat the Commanders handily, 30-17. Then they lost to the Chiefs. All right, a close game, 27-20.
Yes.
They squeaked that. And listen, the Giants. We can all agree were a bad team that year, right?
Yeah.
They had to kick a franchise-setting field goal to win that game. Yes. They squeaked one against the Chargers, who weren't a great team that year, right? They decimated the Cardinals, who were they were in a good team.
I was at that game.
Yeah. They went into the Panthers on Thursday night. I remember this one, and everybody, they're going to get their asses slammed.
That was the game when it first hit me, like, oh, this team might be
this team might be special. Yeah, a lot of people thought that. And that was another one. The Panthers were like Cam Newton. The Panthers were just, oh God, Cam Newton. No, he's so good. No, we beat him Thursday night. All right, came in, beat the pants off the Commanders. Took an L when we lost our left tackle. Don't in that sense, but took a W in the victory column. Smashed the Niners. The Broncos were the Steelers of that year.
We put a 50 burger on them, right?
51-23.
Yes.
That was what
Carson.
you do. Good teams beat the piss out of bad teams. That's how it is, because that's the way the schedule said. Yeah, right. Eagles walloped the Cowboys twice that year, 37-9 the first time.
No,
They
lost 6-0 the second time.
They lost
that was that Sub-Zero game.
That was the last game. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I was at that game, freezing.
Yeah. Eagles 31-3 over the Bears. The Seahawks beat. Seahawks always have our number. Thank God we don't have to. Hopefully, we have to see the Seahawks much.
I remember after that Seahawks.
Maybe it's Russell Wilson Seahawks, but we'll see.
Of dread, because we were so hot, and then Seattle got us. And
Seahawks, and they beat us good too. It was 24-10. So is that what people want? They want that 24-10 loss because this team isn't full of themselves. We do not see them walking through the game. I don't get it. I don't get it.
And to your point, like, okay, we still have some of those veteran guys from that team. You still have Jason Kelsey. You still have, Lane
you
Johnson.
You have a few of those guys.
Yeah, but I'm saying
the only ones that you need. Be honest with you.
Right, but the ones who've been down that road, like they're not looking down the road, like, oh yeah, we're gonna shoot. No, it's one game at a time, and they just beat the brakes out of whoever's.
There's one guy though. I'm wondering what he's thinking right now. We all said when Zach Ertz left, it was good for him. He needed to go to a place that was going to contend for a Super Bowl. Now look at him. Here's the team that's contending for a Super Bowl, 8-0, and he's on a dysfunctional Cardinals team at best.
Yes,
that's the one guy I kind of feel bad about. But like I said, they beat the Rams and would one of the saddest wins I've ever been to by my in LA. They squeaked. I mean, they kind of got
that Giants game the following week. I was there
with
for that
Foles.
up in MetLife.
Yeah, I mean,
what was it?
That was a scary one, but it was 34-29 Giants.
I'll tell you what, the worst one was that Christmas night game.
Yeah, I was there.
Raiders, so was I.
The Raiders, 19-10.
Yeah, freezing cold.
That was the first EOP field trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Then we lost the Cowboys 6-0 because nobody was playing, and then we all know how the rest played out. My point is, if you look at that schedule, there's a lot of bad teams on that schedule. Another team, if you think about it, going back to it for a second, we didn't play one of the guys in the playoffs that we went up against in the beginning of the season, right?
Until the Rams.
What?
Until the Rams.
What are you talking about? For 2017, we didn't play the Rams in the playoffs.
No, we didn't play them in the playoffs, but they were a playoff.
No. I'm just saying we didn't play any of the team. Like we didn't see any of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
We played the Rams and we won. They were a playoff team. Who else was a playoff team that year?
Seattle.
Dallas was, which we all know we just handle them anyway. We would handle them anyway. Seattle was, that's my point is like, here's all these
New
teams.
Orleans.
Yeah, but here's all these teams that everybody there wasn't a heavy schedule. Let's be honest. We won some handily and we won some not so handily, but we're still winning by 10 or 12 or more points. I don't get this. Like, I think the problem is when we go back to a winning season, when we had this kind of success.
People forget the ride.
They forget the ride. They forget the end. They remember the end. They kind of remember the Atlanta game. They remember the walloping against Minnesota, and then they remember the Super Bowl. Like that's what they remember. They don't remember. Like I remember just watching that first Giants game with that 63-yard field goal. I'm just like, holy shit! Like I was jumping around, going crazy. But we had to squeak one out against a bad Giants team because why? They're divisional team. That's how it happened.
Yes,
Guys, get over yourselves. That mentality pisses me off. You win every game until you can't.
Right.
Listen, and you know what?
I like it. I like where you're going. Maybe you have the Red Rocket this morning.
Yeah, maybe I do.
It's okay to expose.
Al must have had coitus last night. Anyway,
No, this morning.
oh, see,
Oh,
that's why you got to smile.
But yes, the pickle is out.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at it too, like you're not hearing too much chirping from the 72 Dolphins yet. You're not hearing much. Like Mercury Morse just started kind of chirping about it. If you remember when New England did it, by like week 4, he was chirping.
Yeah.
So, and one of the rumors has that for that Cowboys game on Christmas Eve, that Jerry's bringing them into the house to try to, if the Eagles are still unbeaten.
I'm still undefeated. But my point is okay, well, let's look at if we look back at this schedule, where do you feel right? Where do you feel okay? Let's take a loss. Does it make any of these losses make you feel better?
If we're listening to what national
just go by.
has been saying that the Texans should have been our loss.
No, or the Tennessee. Everybody's thinking Tennessee's going to come.
I don't get it.
I laughed. I was like, hold on. You mean to tell me they're going to have the kid? What the hell is his name? Quarterback Willis.
Tannehill. Oh, might be Tannehill by the time we see.
No, he's
Tannehill's starting today.
Yeah.
Oh, he's starting today.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll probably be. But
I'm sorry, Tannehill scares me zero. Will never. I don't get this Tannehill love.
For the Titans to come in here and beat the Eagles, Derrick Henry's going to have to rush for 4 touchdowns and probably
and people are forgetting
yards.
too. That's AJ Brown's going against his former team. You don't think he wants to show out?
Oh yeah,
4 touchdowns.
That's
Four touchdowns.
I think that's what they're thinking. They got the premier running back. Our run defense is shabby. It's kind of our Achilles heel right now. Not doing great, but we might have Jordan Davis back by
They're
then.
saying if he's on schedule, he'll play that game.
Let me ask you a question too. There's been a rumor floating around too about the Eagles signing Ndamukong Suh. How would you feel about that? I would sign him.
I mean,
just for line depth.
I mean, line depth. I mean, not as the starter.
No, but they're looking at. I think he's supposed to be coming to town. Probably tomorrow.
How old is it, Sue?
Oh, he's not that old.
He's 38, I think, but that's
no, not 30. He ain't that old.
I thought he was up there.
No, he came out in 2010, I think. He was in 2010.
Or a little later. Not by much.
Yeah, he's like 32, 33.
35.
35. I mean, I would still take him, put him in the middle. You know, I mean, he had a pretty decent productive season for Tampa.
As long as he's healthy.
Yeah.
He's in game shape.
Well, he wants to play for a contender. So
who doesn't?
Like that's the newest thing now with the NFL. These guys hold out for a half a season and then go, oh, by the way, now I want to play for you.
Well, it's kind of genius.
Odell's getting ready to do it.
It's kind of genius if you think about it.
Where do you think he ends up?
Dallas.
I don't think he's going to Dallas.
No, he's going to
Were
Dallas.
you Giant?
I don't think I'm telling you right now.
Oh God,
he'll be a Cowboy.
If they put him in Buffalo, that's just
he's going to Buffalo.
That's not fair.
He's going to Buffalo.
I know Eagles haven't been on this list. I guess maybe the Eagles aren't willing.
No.
I've seen an updated list. The Eagles name doesn't seem to pop up very often anymore.
Yeah.
I know Jerry. I'm thinking if I'm him going, I don't want to.
Why would you want to go to Dallas?
I mean, I don't get it. Like
he's not a number one. He's not a number one, and they don't have nobody that can be a number one. CD's not a number one. CD at best is a number 2. Gallup is a number 2.
They got a decent schedule or decent record right now, and they're probably most likely, unless December wheels fall off on them, probably they'll go to the playoffs, knowing the way the rest of this league is set up.
I want to see the Giants overtake them. To be honest with you, I think that would be funny.
Well, you kind of could have 3 teams from this division
in the
playoffs,
most definitely. Because
so either way, you can see that.
If you look,
it could be Giants Dallas in the wild card weekend.
Yeah. And listen, I think the Giants are going to beat them the second time around.
Oh, actually, no, because they would both be wild card teams. No, they wouldn't be.
Sorry. No. Right now, if the playoffs were to start right now, it would be Minnesota against San Francisco. It would be Dallas versus Atlanta, or not Atlanta.
That division
not
so
Atlanta.
bad.
No, it would be Dallas, Seattle.
Okay.
and then it would be the Giants and somebody else. I forget.
Whoever wins that NFC South.
Yeah,
the
Bucks.
49ers, Sean, is what I would not surprise me. They always tend to pull things out. And
Now that's
Are
scary.
you
I'm
guys-
not going to
the
lie.
49ers are like this under the rug sneaky team that always tends to wait a minute, they're in the playoffs. Wait a minute, they're in a wild card. They're in the.
Are you guys scared of them?
No,
Like,
I'm not scared of them. I'm just saying they every year, not just this year.
Yeah.
They're just that team that you're like, oh, that's right, the Niners are still playing. Oh wait, they're in an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
How that happened?
So not to go, shift gears here, but to the guy who was complaining that the Eagles are going to, possibly take that. Do you guys see this could possibly be a trap game tomorrow? I don't see, because the Commanders, like I
They
saw
had
them
too
against,
much time to prepare for them.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not really comfortable slapping
They've
the
had a
trap game
mini
title.
bye on this whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they had 2 games. They won both within what? Full 5 days of each
Yeah,
other.
listen, if there was going to be a trap game, it would have been that Thursday night game.
Against
I-
Houston.
well, let me ask you,
100%.
does anything scary about this Commanders team?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Mike.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say the defensive line
Their D-line
for they're
But
I
they're-
got 2 words for you that makes me feel better about that. I know Chase Young's supposed to come back. Yeah.
is he playing tomorrow?
No, 4 words. Then I'll get to them in a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons. Okay. Because everybody's like, oh, Chase Young's coming back. We figured out Micah Parsons. We made the adjustment. We were just throwing little lobs over Micah Parsons' head all day. They couldn't stop it. There's nothing in that secondary that scares me for Washington.
I will say this: Washington's got a pretty decent linebacking core. They do. Holcomb and Davis are really good linebackers. I'm sorry, but their defensive line is really, really good. Right, their defensive line's good.
Mike's a defensive guy. You can just
All right.
No,
I played linebacker,
I agree with them,
like
and that's what's going to make the game a little bit more of a game.
Here's where the Eagles can win. They're going to exploit them down the field,
Yeah.
like they did in the first
over
game.
the middle.
Yeah.
Down the first game, Dallas Goedert, but Holcomb is a very
I
good.
was going to say, I think Dallas Goedert is going to be a big
Yeah,
factor today.
I think he's going to be. And you know what? We haven't really heard from Devontae Smith really over the last couple games. But the reason why I don't think he's going to be their main focus is because when the game we were at, Al, Devontae killed him. You know, so I'm looking the matchups up front. If they can neutralize that Washington pass rush, even with Chase Young, okay, if they can neutralize that,
Yeah, how you
I-
neutralize that though?
you run at them,
That and it was another
keep
way.
pounding them. And
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert will be your neutralizing factor.
Over the
Because
middle.
you know what? Yeah, they're going to bring the house. That's what every team is trying to beat the Eagles by doing that. They brought the house. They blitzed. I mean, look at the Lions when we try to figure out what everybody was going to do against us. They had guys ankle to ankle on the end. They had 2 guys coming on from the far left and the far right, just causing havoc. And that's why that game was where it was. But it hasn't really happened like that since. Why hasn't anybody else taken that factor? Because what happened? Cowboys did that. They tried that. And Micah Parsons kind of was annoying for a little bit. But guess what? They said, well, let's just roll us out. He has to pick either A.J. Brown or he has to pick Jalen Hurts. And no matter what, it's monkey in the middle at this time. They're going to just pop it over his head, and he's just not going to be able to get the ball.
You started to see the Bears started to do that. I mean, the Bears started to do that against the Cowboys too,
Yeah.
like kind of late in that
Because
game.
they look at what the Eagles did. Like, oh, we got to do this. That's how it has to happen. But that's what I'm saying. That's your neutralizing factor. And yes, you got to run the ball, and I think that's how you also take it down.
I just want to make a plea with Shane Steichen, Sirianni. Can we activate and use Trey Sermon, please? I think he would be such a great help to this team. He would be a great.
I don't think he's active this week, is he?
I don't know.
I don't
the
think he's been
activation.
active yet.
No,
He wasn't in one game.
Yeah, he was. He had a couple carries, but I mean, I don't know if it's him not maybe understanding the playbook or maybe getting the offense down. But I seen this kid play in college. I seen him play at Ohio State.
I've seen a ton of great stuff.
He is a beast, man, and this is what this Eagles team needs. I'm hoping that he kind of gets his way off of not being inactive.
He has 2 carries for 19 yards this year so far.
Well, 2 carries for 19 yards. That's 9.5 yards a carry.
Yep.
So, I mean, what's that telling you? You know, the dude's a beast, man. He's a beast. I don't know why they're not playing him. Like I said, I don't know.
Well, he also got dropped from the Niners. There could be a damn good reason. But I mean, I agree with you because
he's a power back, man.
They really don't use Boston Scott. If you look at the numbers anymore, he might get 2-3 carries, and it's usually garbage time anyway.
I feel bad for him because
I don't. I don't under. All right, unpopular opinion here. I don't understand the love of Boston Scott. I just don't
I
get
agree
it.
with you.
I don't get it. I get it. He's a giant killer. Okay, we need him. We haven't had a problem. We haven't needed a giant killer in a while. The Giants were their own killers for a while. Maybe this year. Maybe they will this year because they're playing.
He's
a
had
little
better games.
I'm not
other
saying
than
he
the
hasn't had
Giants.
better games, but I don't understand. Like they're like, all right, we need Darren Sproles 2.0. He is not Darren Sproles.
No, he's
2.0.
not.
He's not Darren Sproles
No.
1.0. He's not Darren Sproles. He's a poor man's version of Darren Sproles, and you're seeing that a lot more because Miles Sanders is playing. I need a contract year, and that's what it is. And they haven't needed him. And then Kenny Gainwell's been in there.
He's been disappointing to me.
Listen, I kind of had tempered expectations for Kenny.
Yeah, but I mean, like him catching the one main thing that the Eagles got him for was his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Okay, and have you seen them even doing that with him? No. Like this is like he's supposed to be another weapon. Okay, and he's almost a forgotten thought. Like Gainwell can catch the ball out of the backfield, but yet they love just
he hasn't
lining
had more
him.
than 5 attempts a game this year.
Yeah, that's all they do is
Kenny
line him up.
Gainwell.
They line him up and go, okay, you need to give Miles a blow. Go in there. Like, no, like start putting this dude.
He actually has 3 touchdowns this year, considering the fact he's had no more than 5 attempts a game. He had 1 against the Lions, 1 against the Jags, because every running back scored a touchdown then.
Mhm.
And then he had 1 against the Texans.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like to me, they just I don't know, man. Looking forward with this game Monday night. 2 things. I'm not worried about the receivers for Washington. Although I think my boy's going to be out again, Jahan Dotson. I don't think he'll be playing, but I like our corners.
You're not like our boy Joe Sharon, who like once a Penn State guy goes to a divisional rival, he writes you off.
That's it.
No, dude.
That's Joe.
because-
Joe said that about me. He's like, nah, I made my peace with him, and I told him I no longer can like you. like,
No,
like,
I
did you write him a
no.
letter, Joe?
No, like listen, I love Michael Parsons. I will never talk bad about him.
Mike or Mika? I always call him
Micah. Micah
okay,
Parsons.
all right.
It's kind of crazy how the top 3 players to come out of Penn State in the past, 7 years are all in our division.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley, Michael Parsons, and
Jahan Dotson, Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, Pat Fryermuth. I mean, he's another one playing. But Mike Gesicki, I mean, there's Penn State represented all around there. But getting back to this game, Pat, I think our secondary shuts down their wide receiving core with Mims, Samuels, and McLaurin. I call him McLovin, but Logan Thomas is going to be that's going to be a good matchup for Kazir White.
I get that.
If he plays,
yeah, I get that. But my point is, any one of our good secondary guys can shut down McLaurin. Almost anyone.
Well, they did the first game.
Yeah. So
we were there. I think
like that's the thing is, who are you going to throw to? Dotson's not there, and who's going to throw to?
This is a Logan Thomas game if he plays.
But who's gonna who do you? All right. So say who do you put on McLaurin?
I would put Bradbury or Slay on him.
Okay.
Samuels is the guy you got to worry about.
Gardner Johnson or the other one of those 2 people to go up against him, and then you still have a guy open. You still have Kazir White out there defending like the short pass. And I think hopefully Mailata is a little feeling. I think he was a little hurt still.
Yeah, that was short rest. I mean, he did make that dude look like Lawrence Taylor, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so like I said, so let me ask you, right? How do you see this game playing out? And what's your final prediction? Yeah,
tomorrow, Birds roll. They cover. I'm not even sure what the spread is right now.
11 and
11. Is it 11 and a half now? I saw 11.
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll cover that. There's nothing that really worries me about this game.
So what's your score? Gotta give one.
Let's go 38-17.
and who's going to be the player of the game?
Player of the game. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen.
I think he runs a couple in tomorrow.
Oh, really? He punches it in. See, like I said, I went back and looked at the film. Like I said, to me, like Al says, Washington, they'll bring the house on you and they'll leave that middle open all day. So I think to my player of the game was going to be Dallas Goedert. That's where that's where he's the most dangerous. He'll be open over the middle and he'll be raking havoc. Hopefully he'll get a couple TDs because I do have him on my fantasy lineup. So
Oh, okay.
That's why he's saying that.
Ah,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
now,
well,
what's your
now it
score?
all comes out.
yeah,
what's your
I increased
score?
the poll just a little.
So what's your score?
So I'm looking at 27-10 win.
Now
27.
here's Derby, 36-10 Eagles. So I guess this is the week we decide to drop one. Let me ask you a question, Derby. I'm going to ask you why we're giving our predictions before we go to Mike, so you can throw this up here because he's going to hear this a few seconds late. If we were to lose a game, which game do you think would be reasonable enough to lose? Go ahead.
Mine. I'm gonna say 34-13 Birds.
I'm going to go 30-17.
You think they're gonna put up 17 points?
Garbage time.
Garbage time.
I don't think it's going to. I don't think. I think they can do that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's less. But the Eagles tend to play that kind of second half bend don't break bullshit again, and that's where you guys are going to start scoring. So for somewhere in that 10-17 range wouldn't surprise me. But I'm going to be more realistic and go more 17.
Well, like I said, that's what they're averaging, 17 points. And like you said, I think that's, if anything, that's what they pick up in garbage time to make it look like it could be a game. So, but no, I think the Eagles take care of this rather easily tomorrow night. Even though it's prime time, even though it's against a divisional opponent, to me that means nothing. It just doesn't mean nothing. I know when it comes to divisional games, you throw all the record books and stats out the window. But I've seen this horse and pony show before, and I actually look at that one night on Monday Night, football with Wentz. Wentz looked great against them. Tore them up. So, like I said, man, it's going to be a good, fun ride. We all predict the Birds win. But before we get out of here, man, let's give a couple shout outs to these our beautiful sponsors here. If you guys want to head on a Philly sports trips, man, well, look, we just heard it a little earlier today that the Colts game is sold out. The New York game is sold out. So, look,
Well, here, listen, just so you know, if you do go, like say you're going to go, and you already have tickets, and you already have the tickets for the game, and you already have the flight and all that set, but you want to go to the tailgate, you can still go to that. But
right.
yes,
So
the full package is sold out.
Yeah. So like for instance, my man, the Dawn Joe Sullivan, I know him and Euro Paul will be going out to that Colts game. I don't think they got the whole package with Philly sports trips, but they still have time to go to that tailgate party, which will be great. So, but look, man, there's
Yeah, as we get
time.
close to the game, my
Hey, look, it
decision
happens.
changes,
Hey, look, it happens. But look, man, if you guys want to make a Christmas deal, want to go to Chicago, experience that for a time, go out there, go to an Bears game, reasonable pricing, go out there, represent Philly Sports Trip, go hang out with the Edge of Philly Sports guys, and all those guys will be out there. See green, can't go wrong.
Already, and if you are like me and have to work with Pat every Sunday morning,
Yes.
you might need this guy just in case, of a Red Rocket, comment or anything like that. Our man David R. Jerry, make sure you give him a call at 610-565-0300 for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, like when I body slam Pat through the table, and criminal law. Once again, you can call our boy David Cherry at 610-565-0300 and tell them that the boys from EOP sent you over.
And if you're in the Delaware County area and you want a great place to watch the Sixers and the Flyers today, or even the Eagles tomorrow, Dolan's Bar is your place, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, right off of 95. So if you're not even in Delco and you want to shoot down, here's the place to go.
Awesome time.
Awesome time. You never know who's going to be by, but it will be a great time. Here is the rest of the lineup. If you missed anything this week, you're like, "Ooh, that all sounds good." You can come back on our YouTube page as well. All the live shows are podcasted. So anywhere you get your podcast at, this will be podcasted right after the show ends, so you can check that out. Don't forget, we have a Clear the Ice as well as a Sixers Jazz post game and all across all the time tonight at 9 p.m. So I think real quick before we head out here, Derpy, maybe he misunderstood. I'm asking you, what game should they lose? If you think they had to pick a game, you go, all right, guys, we're going to roll over and let them have this. What game would you choose?
Well, while he comes up with an answer for that, let me ask. I haven't asked this question in a while. What would be the meal plan for tomorrow? And Washington is playing well. Don't underestimate the Birds win. 23-16.
Yeah.
I like it, Joe. That's more
So
reasonable.
that's kind of why I went with the 17 because they are playing better. If this was
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, I might have had a nine burger up there, but like, yeah, the 17.
I know, Joe. I know I gotta come down, buddy. I know I gotta calm down, but my green pickles out for bird. So, but anyway, but like I said,
There you go.
what would be the
David Akers interview on Philly Press Box Radio will be posting out again after the show.
Oh, nice. So, what would be your meal plan for tomorrow?
Hold on, real quick, for you to answer that question. Does Monday night games or Sunday night game, or especially Monday night games, does that change your guys' meal plan thoughts for a normal Eagles Sunday schedule game?
Yes,
definitely
Okay.
different.
I think it's more likely that I'm going out of my way to go pick up wings for a Monday night game than I would be a Sunday 1 o'clock game.
You would. So, would you be more apt to cook? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Oh.
I'd be more likely to cook on a Sunday game. I for the Monday night game, it's more likely.
That's
that
what I'm saying. Like,
gonna
so
be
on a
hitting
Sunday,
yeah,
you'd be more apt to cook or make something special versus like, I'm going to call my favorite pizza and wing place and get that. All right, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be at the Owens, so I'll probably be hitting double decker.
Yeah,
it's
you can do that. That's what's beautiful about
that's
it.
the thing.
Couple ice stops.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then you just sit back and watch the game. Now, if it's a Sunday game, I'll do like a chili, which like I get up at 7 in the morning, so I start it like it'll be in a crock pot. So by the time I get home,
Oh yeah,
we
slow
can-
cooking it.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yep.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. So, like, I gotta do home cooking on on the Mondays. I'd rather do a home cooking and order out on Sunday. Like, if it's a 1 o'clock game, I'll do the wings. But if it's evening
But
time,
you come home from work and you can put all this food together. You got time?
well, not me. I got the home
I
foreman.
was gonna say, like, we all know it's got.
He is not cooking.
I was gonna ask. I know she
No.
does, but do you actually cook? What is just outside of football? What is Pat's normal? What's Pat's like? What do the kids ask for? Dad makes this the best.
Grilled cheese.
Cereal.
Really?
Cereal.
Really? Like, can you not cook at all?
No. I mean, if I gotta whip up like a grilled cheese or something like that,
See,
something basic.
Whip up a grilled cheese.
Yeah, man. For something basic, like
Mom's not here. Grilled cheese tomato soup. It looks like, guys.
That's 90.
Yeah.
I hope you guys like scrambled eggs this late. Yepers.
Oh, man.
So what is your wife cooking then? Should I ask?
Dude, she goes pasta. Any kind of like a prime time game, she's got to go pasta.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not eat a big old bowl of pasta and then pass out on the couch?
You know what I mean? And then
No, I want to see the end of the game.
I know.
Sorry.
yeah, but I mean, she'll make some
Doesn't
kind of
matter,
like
I'll pass
crazy.
it.
Her baked ziti. Oh my gosh.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
I've had it. Very, very good.
Yeah, a former old host. He brought like a body bag to rack up some of her pasta.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was embarrassing for him, but I said, "Damn, dude!"
I guarantee she cooks for like 20 people, and it's
she
like,
does, and
it's
it's just me.
It's just you.
It's like 20 of my bellies. So
That's all right. Back when I could and get away with it, I used to go to restaurants and I would order 2 entrees. I didn't even want the sides. I'd be like, can you just, now I love like sides and stuff. Before I'd be like, give me this fish and this chicken or this steak and this fish.
I've done that. Like,
Yeah,
when
like
I
I
was,
would rather have 2 entrees than have the sides and all that stuff with it. Go ahead,
well,
Ryan.
yeah. So,
Oh,
but,
you already had yours. That's right.
Yeah,
You were
so-
doing the wings. You said you're
Yeah,
doing
well,
wings.
Yes.
I'm actually going to the game tomorrow.
Oh, you going? I was
so-
supposed to. But
uh,
Dude,
I opted. I already committed to doing the post game. So guys, don't forget Eagles post game Monday night, pre, half, and post game
yes.
here live on the Philly Sports and the Fan
So-
Lines.
Now, if you're looking to take like your significant other, kids out to this game, this is the game to do it. These tickets are going for under $100 on StubHub.
yes,
All right, I
yeah,
would
they're under
imagine.
$100. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So you mean to tell me we got
Monday
home-
night games make it hard. People don't want to go out if they don't have.
Plus,
I-
it's going to be cold tomorrow. It's going to be really
I
cold.
Is
mean,
it- yeah, okay.
So just to wrap my head around Monday night. So you come in from work, you get to sit down, chill, you get the Sully squad, then you can go out to the game. If you're not going to the game, you can sit back. And then if you're not, after the game,
you guys
you
are
can-
shitting.
yeah.
It's a high of 47 tomorrow.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's still
Nibs
going
are
to be
hard.
it's going to be a little cold out there, wet out there still too. Remnants of the rain.
Sure.
Yeah, so tons of action going down. But guys, look, for me, my man Ryan, my man Mike, my man Al producing the show. Thank you guys. And until next week, we'll be back talking more crazy Philadelphia sports talk. Guys, have a good
See
one.
ya.
See you. Go Flyers, go Sixers, go Eagles.